Bentornato, we're back after a rest day and back at work in the 2024 Giro d'Italia. Stage 10 from Pompeii to here, Bocca della Selva, another summit finish in this 2024 edition of the Italian Grand Tour. Today's stage, no, if you're just tuning in, wasn't won by race leader in the pink jersey, Slovenian superstar Tadej Pogacar. Instead, an escape won. The escape victory, well, it went to Valentin Paret-Peintre. The rider from Decathlon AG2R Le Mondial shot free with around 3 kilometers to go from the last of the escapees and celebrated in style. I spoke with his team leader up in the classification, Ben O'Connor. When that group finished, the GC group, he was super pleased, over the moon for the teammates' win, and it just backs up the team's strong showing all 2024 season, gives the team morale, and puts Ben O'Connor in a good place as we start the second week, heading towards the third week in the big mountains. But let's dissect this escape because it took a while to get free and it contained numerous top riders. 21 riders in total in there, with all the big GC teams putting a rider in the escape except UAE Team Emirates. Ineos Grenadiers had Tobias Foss. Up in the move for Ben O'Connor's team was the stage winner, and of course his older brother, Valentin Paret-Peintre. Esteban Chavez, former Giro d'Italia stage winner. Also in the group, Andrea Bajoli, who would feature later, Juan Pedro Lopez, and best place in the GC, Filippo Zana, around about 7 minutes back. Also around about 7 minutes back, Romain Bardet, and two Americans in that group, Will Barta from Team Movistar, and Bardet's teammate from the same DSM team, Kevin Vermarke. Now I want to take us back to Pompeii, the city of ruins, where we have all the mummified bodies from the Vesuvius volcano exploding many years ago. We spent the rest day there in the shadow of the Vesuvius. Beautiful day this morning in Pompeii. Clouds have rolled in this afternoon and a crazy day. The hottest day on record so far at the Giro, finishing up here at 1,400 meters, where it's a little bit cool, the rain coming down. 4 riders wouldn't experience that because they didn't start today, but one of significance out of that 4 was the Stage 9 winner before we went into the rest day, Olaf Koy from Team Visma Lease Bike. The Dutchman had to go home, not feeling well. A lot of the riders are stuffed up in their nose. We saw also Tadej Pogacar had that problem. Luke Plapp has that problem. So it's going through the peloton. Jan Tratnik, and we'll get to him. He's in the same team as Visma Lease Bike as Olaf Koy. That leaves Kian Utebrooks with just 5 riders in the team, 4 support riders. And out of those 4 support riders, well, one of them was up charging ahead today and doing the damage we thought maybe would have a chance at the stage win. Going free at 35 kilometers to go in this stage, getting here to the 18-kilometer climb with already a gap. The climb pretty average gradient all the way up, and I'm talking about the man with the goatee, the man that won Omloop at Nieuwsblad. That's, of course, Jan Tratnik, Slovenian. This morning I caught a little image of him giving an embrace with Tadej Pogacar. Well, it's Tadej Pogacar, I think, hugging Jan. And for me, it was the hand of God saying, Jan, this is your day, go for it. But Jan told me afterwards when we spoke with him there, he's sitting on the ground, and he said, no, they were just talking about whatever, the weather back in Slovenia, and Tadej didn't say, this is your day. In fact, no, what he said was that they're both feeling a little bit under the weather, and Jan Tratnik is still trying to get over that. Jan Tratnik, despite being caught by the Paret-Peintre charge at 3 kilometers, 2.7 kilometers to go, he was positive. He said, this is a good sign for the stages to come. In that group that Paret-Peintre was in, that he attacked out of after he left his older brother behind, after Will Barta and Kevin Vermarke were distanced. Kevin Vermarke, of course, ensured that Romain Bardet was up the road. It was Bardet with Andrea Bajoli from Lidl Trek and also Paret-Peintre from Decathlon Le Mondial. And he gave it to the others. Bajoli was distanced before that. Then he distanced Bardet and was on the charge, and you could tell he had a lot more momentum than what Jan Tratnik had. And Jan Tratnik's wheels were about ready to come off, and they finally came off. And we saw Paret-Peintre go on, get victory. But satisfied on the day, as I mentioned, Tratnik, also Esteban Chavez, who will be aiming for a stage win further down the road. I just missed Kevin Vermarke and Will Barta, unfortunately. All the riders were bundling up quite quickly and heading down. I did speak to Ben O'Connor, who said chapeau to his teammate. The teammates are always working hard for him. He was happy to to see him win there. And then I spoke with Damiano Caruso, who was in the escape, and at one point after being dropped was back there pushing hard for Antonio Tiberi. Tiberi, of course, is trying to dislodge Kian Uterbrooks for that white jersey classification of best young rider. He did not succeed in doing that, but the team was really showing a lot of force. And as Tadej Pogacar said, he's the only rider, Tiberi, who's showing balls in this race with multiple attacks. I don't know what that means for his other GC rivals, what Tadej means about that. I did ask him in the interview, so you have to listen to that interview. But yes, Bahrain is showing some strength here, but I don't think the rest of the guys aren't racing with courage as well. The rain is coming down, and we're up here celebrating a day for Decathlon Le Mondial. Before we do, though, we need to think about that GC group back behind. You would have seen a little bit of attacks, a little bit of the group getting stretched out. When they came across the line, Tadej was up with the top riders. It was Martinez, who's second overall in the blue jersey, and Geraint Thomas. They were all right there. There was a little bit of gaps in the groups coming over the finish line, so you'll see a slight change in the GC. Tadej Pogacar firmly in the lead at 2 minutes 40 seconds over Martinez. Thomas at 2:58, 3:39 back is our Australian from Perth, Ben O'Connor. Kian Uterbrooks, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, back at 4:15. Tiberi at 4:27, right on his heels. If I'm doing the math correctly, that's 12 seconds off for Tiberi. And then we have Romain Bardet at 4:57, and further on in this GC race. It's going to take a bit of a bit of a rest for the next few days, as we don't have the climbing stages before we get to some more mountain stages towards the end of the week, and of course a time trial as well. And tonight, well, Ben O'Connor can celebrate with the rest of the boys for stage victory at Bocca della Selva up here at 1,400 meters, stage 10 of the 2024 Giro d'Italia.